Welcome to International Tuesdays because I just made that a thing. The Russians and the Chinesians have reached a deal to build a base on the moon. Kim Jong-un's sister sends a stern warning to China Joe and the US. If you want to sleep in peace for the coming 4 years, the US better refrain from causing a stink at its first step. I imagine some of the dictatorial toughness got lost in translation. That is not how I imagined the supreme leader of North Korea would speak. Last, China is pushing Taiwan and the Philippines, which are both backed by the US, into, presumably, World War III. The Asian continent needs to be immediately showered with Xanax, and if they don't, shit. World War III, baby. Let's get into it. I've got a couple of interesting yet troubling stories for you today, but before we get started, I think a little change of scenery would be appropriate for this video. Give me a sec. My friends, aren't they great? Kimmy J and Vladdy P. My boys. Now, there's no reason to, get them straight because these are some twisted individuals. But now, without further ado, why don't we get into those twisted stories? I'll get small and we'll get reading. From NPR News, National Public Socialist Radio, the Chinesians and the Russians announced plans to build moon research station. Interesting. China and Russia have announced plans to work together to construct a lunar research station, an ambitious first ever space project between the two countries. Let me ask you something. How do you feel about not being number one when it comes to space exploration? How do you feel when it comes to not having a base on the moon when your two number one opponents do? Not only do they have one, will have one, they're working together. Feeling left out yet? Russia's Roscosmos and China's National Space Administration, the two countries' respective equivalents of NASA, announced a preliminary agreement on Tuesday to jointly develop the research facility known as the International Lunar Research Station, or ILRS. The head of the two space agencies signed the Memorandum of Understanding in a ceremony conducted via teleconference, probably Zoom. We are falling behind. The proposed station, which once complete would be open to use by other countries, is a comprehensive scientific experiment based with the capability of long-term autonomous operations, according to a statement released by China. So we really can't believe anything the Chinesians are saying, can we? No. Now, if you're thinking, hey, what's the big deal of another international space station floating around there? No, this could actually be built on the lunar surface. Check this out. The station will be built on the lunar surface and or on lunar orbit, the statement said, and will carry out activities such as lunar exploration and utilization, lunar-based observation, basic scientific experiment, and technical verification. If the Chinese and the Russians start mining the moon, it's over. It's over. We're done. And if you're thinking, hey, maybe we'll lose the space race to the Chinese and the Russians, it doesn't stop there. No. The whole Asian continent is really going bananas. But before we get back to China, let's talk Kimmy J, my boy Kimmy J, and North Korea. North Korea breaks silence to warn U.S. against causing a stink, whatever that means. Kim Yo-jong, the sister of North Korea's leader, warned the Biden administration against causing a stink at its first step on Monday, hours after the White House said it had not received a response to its outreach to Pyongyang, capital of North Korea, which I would love to go to. Not because I think it's a nice place, but because I'm fascinated by North Korea. We take this opportunity to warn the new U.S. administration trying hard to give off powder smell in our land, she said in a statement, according to the country's state news agency. This is an interesting take. Now, I'm not going to say I believe the North Koreans over China Joe. They're both shit, but I prefer China Joe than, Kimmy J. When they say the U.S. administration is trying hard to give off powder smell in our land, it's like they're trying to find a reason to go to war. If it wants to sleep in peace for the coming 4 years, it had better refrain from causing a stink at its first step, she said. The warning comes as the U.S. and South Korea conduct scaled-down, simulated military exercises, and the U.S. Secretary of State, Tony Blinken, and Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin had touched down in the region for meetings with their Japanese and South Korean counterparts. Now, you may be thinking, okay, but North Korea always talks, they'll always bark, no bite. Maybe. Well, I don't think North Korea is the main thing we need to focus on. when it comes to Asia because, China really is taking over. China warns Joe Biden Taiwan independence means war. China has threatened Taiwan that if the island democracy makes any attempt to seek independence, it means war. There's a little line here that I want to read for you. China's defense ministry spokesman warned against any move of a formal declaration of independence by Taiwan, stating that those who play with fire will burn themselves. However, Taiwanese President, and I'm not going to say this right, Tsai Ing-wen, told the BBC that the nation did not feel the need to engage in China's confrontational language. President Tsai said, "We don't need to declare ourselves an independent state." Taiwan has upgraded its homeland defenses with sophisticated mobile anti-ship missiles. At the same time, China is building up its navy. Taiwan's Mainland Affairs Council said China should not underestimate the island's ability to defend itself. More importantly here is this. The U.S. responded to China's threat by calling it unfortunate. The warning comes after Beijing intensified its naval drills off the coast of Taiwan. They are literally practicing drills on how to invade Taiwan next to Taiwan. Then, we have this story from BBC News. China warns Taiwan independence means war as U.S. pledges support. The warning comes days after China stepped up its military activities and flew warplanes near the island. They've been doing this for a while now. It also comes after the new U.S. President, Joseph China Biden, reaffirmed his commitment to Taiwan and set out his stance in Asia. The U.S. has called China's latest warning unfortunate, adding that tension did not need to lead to anything like confrontation. But will they? Hopefully not, but maybe. And it's not just Taiwan. Check this out. China threatens war with the Philippines as the U.S. pledges support to Manila. U.S. is out there pledging support. China's out there making threats. This is going to culminate in World War III. A new law passed by Beijing has brought it head-to-head with the U.S., with some leaders saying China's actions are a virtual declaration of war. Oh, you think? China is threatening war after it authorizes its warships to open fire on fishers plying traditional waters, warns the Philippines. Now, Washington says it has Manila's back. Beijing has passed legislation calling upon its military-controlled Coast Guard to open fire upon foreign vessels and destroy illegal structures within the East and the South China Seas. Problem is, those territories don't belong to China, but they're just claiming it because they're crazy, because they need a little Xanax. The Asian continent is going crazy. China is flexing its muscles. Kimmy J doesn't think China Joe is a threat, and Vladdy P is enjoying the commotion. We got to straighten up. Now, what concerns you more? China's aggression in Asia and the South China Sea, or China's and Russia's plans and ambition to build a joint lunar base on the moon? I think the China aggression is more concerning just because it's more time sensitive. But the moon one can have bigger repercussions unless the China aggression ends in World War III, which we don't want. So let me take this off. We don't want World War III. Comment your opinions down below. What concerns you more? And before we leave, let me fix this real quick. Ain't that much better? Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe. See you next time.